Hi, thanks for clicking on this video, thanks for watching. If you thought that the Houses of Parliament in London were the English Parliament, then you thought wrong. They're not. And let me explain in this video, because England has no Parliament. The image known throughout the world, or the images known throughout the world of the Houses of Parliament, which are the House of Lords, House of Commons, and of course the Elizabeth Tower at the end, which contains Big Ben at the top, which is known throughout the world, that is not the Parliament of England. It's in England, it's in London, it's in Westminster, but that is the Parliament of the United Kingdom. Now, the United Kingdom is made up of Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England. And the people of the UK vote for officials who are elected, and those elected MPs sit in the House of Commons in London and vote on matters regarding the United Kingdom. So that, the image that we know throughout the world, the House of Parliament, that is the Parliament of the UK. Now, in 1999, Tony Blair and the Labour government created devolution. And devolution was the idea that each nation, each country should be able to pass laws related to that country specifically under its own control, nothing to do with the UK Parliament that sits in Westminster. So over in Northern Ireland, the people of Northern Ireland elect officials who sit in the Northern Irish Assembly, known as Stormont, and they then pass laws specifically to do with Northern Ireland. And they can do that. They don't have to involve themselves with the UK Parliament at all. That's down to them. They can do that. The people of Wales elect officials who sit in the Senedd, the Welsh Parliament, and they then can pass laws which are only to do with Wales. The people of Scotland, I think you know where this is going. They can vote for officials that are elected, duly elected, and they then pass laws that are specifically applicable to Scotland. That's Holyrood, Scotland, and I believe at the moment, at time of filming, there are 129 MPs that sit in the Scottish Parliament, Holyrood. So, the people of England. How do the people of England elect officials to vote on English-only matters? They don't, because England has no Parliament. The idea was in 1999 that England would. I am sure, if my memory serves me correctly, which I'm sure it does, I am 99% certain that we were told that Portcullis House, which is it's a sort of bronzy brown building, just on the east side of the Houses of Parliament, on the other side of the road, that would be where the English Parliament would be. I'm sure we were told that. But all of a sudden it seemed like that was just brushed to one side. It didn't happen. And now that building, Portcullis House, that's just a building for MPs. It's an overflow building for MPs and their staff. So the idea of the English Parliament, even though we were promised it, if you like, it was just brushed to one side. Oh, don't worry about the English, they're not going to have one. Then we were thrown the idea of regional areas, devolution, but for the regions of England. So each region would have, and that never really happened. We were told that so that we could feel we were involving ourselves in our own matters, we'd have mayors, duly elected mayors. I think there's 10 or 11 mayors now of the big cities in London, big areas in London. If you look at Sadiq Khan in London, that's going well. So we still haven't got our own Parliament. The 2015 to 2021, there was something known as, the person that came up with this acronym was probably having a laugh, EVIL, English Votes for English Laws. That was the concept of, that it had anything to do with England, it had to have a majority of 2/3 of MPs sitting in England, English MPs voting for those matters. That was 2015 to 2021, doesn't exist. So England has not got its own Parliament. If you think about it, I think behind the scenes, the idea was, even though we were thrown the bone, you know, oh yeah, England can have its own Parliament, I don't think behind the scenes, it is something that really would be wanted in Westminster, because it would be too powerful. It would take away a lot of powers from the UK Parliament that sits there. So, the England, biggest nation in the UK, in terms of size, in terms of population, in terms of economy. We haven't got our own parliament. The House of Parliament that you see in London everywhere, that's where the UK Parliament sits. The Scots, Holyrood. The Northern Irish, Stormont. Welsh Parliament, Senedd. England, we've got nothing. So, if you thought England had its own parliament and that was what you see in Westminster, and when you hear Big Ben, just under that is the English Parliament. No, it's not. That's the UK Parliament. Because England, us English, we haven't got one.